Okay guys, I'm back. I went in to eat something for supper, but it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. But as you remember, the resin was sitting up about, well, just a touch way down from the weights. And as you can see now, I was pretty close on guessing where the resin's going to come. But I mean, all wood absorbs resin differently, of course. But see, like that there, I should add more resin in, but just to show you guys what happens, you always want to keep these blanks submerged in your resin. So I mean, if I myself, I have a lot of resin on hand all the time, so I should have probably filled it up 6 inches above them blanks. But just to show you guys what happens. But the main thing is you never want them blanks to see any air ever again after you stabilize. You always want to keep them submerged, otherwise they'll just draw air back into the wood if you drop vacuum and suck. But I mean, if this does happen to you, all you got to do is just put resin back in, pull vacuum on it again, and just make sure it don't drop below the wood. Is all you got to do on that. So here's a dry vac chamber, and this resin here is actually dropped. When I went in for supper, it was sitting right about in here somewhere, and it's dropped down to here. So, and that's just one blank, a 2x2 by 6 or 7 inch. I can't remember what it is, but all wood absorbs resin differently. So plan accordingly, making sure you got enough resin above your wood in the chamber, so you don't have to keep pulling vacuum on it till your wood stays completely submerged. But that's how I do it. And then what happens, I'll probably let these blanks sit in here probably till tomorrow or the next day or whenever I get time, and then you take them out and you wrap them up with tin foil, and then I put them in a cure oven. And with this resin here, the best curing is anywhere from 170 to 190 degrees, and I let them sit in there for an hour and a half till the internal temperature reaches that, and I take them out. And basically what they look like, I think I got some here that have been done here. These are some cured blanks right here. This is same type of wood. You'll see there's a little bit of residue on the outside of them, but these blanks are very, very heavy right now versus what they weighed when they went in. So you can take your real rotten types of wood, are going to gain a lot more than some of your the harder woods. So I mean, all woods act differently. Black walnut and stuff like that, the more oily woods don't like to be stabilized as well. It does work, but it doesn't work as well. But basically that's what I'm just kind of showing you guys how I do it. I read a lot of stuff on the page about people stabilizing with 24 inches or net brake bleeders and stuff like that. Well, I've been down that road, and this stuff, it's fun to play around with, but your guys are kind of wasting your time with it, because you want to pull as much vacuum as possible. And the only way you can get into that 28.5 to 29, you need a 2-stage pump. There's a lot of pumps out there. There's cheap pumps, and there's very expensive pumps. But basically the pump that I got kind of a mess underneath my workbench here, but this is my pump right here. It's a 6.5 or 6 cubic foot pump. You don't need that much cubic feet. Doesn't really matter when it comes to stabilizing. But like my pump, I got this one at a pretty good price, so I didn't, I took it, So, but the cubic foot on a vacuum pump really don't mean much when you start getting into big chambers like this, and where I can run maybe 6 or 7 of these at a time with my 6 cubic foot pump. I can be at full vacuum in probably less than a minute on running 6 chambers. So I mean, you're not gonna it's not a race to see how fast you can get to full vacuum. So a 2.5 cubic foot pump will work just fine. Make sure you get good vacuum gauges. You got to have a bleeder valve on your chambers to relieve vacuum, because you never want to shut your pump off when it's on full vacuum. It's really hard on the pumps. So that's basically how I do it. If I can help you out anyway, as far as chambers or any questions or whatever, but that's about it. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.